morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. I made it to one of my favorite places on the planet, and that's Fort Lauderdale. You can see the Atlantic behind me, and luckily it wasn't all bad weather on the way here, but I got pretty lucky really. I managed to dodge through that little bit that you just saw there. It was only about 10 minutes and then it was absolutely clear. So it's really good to be here. The last few days have been really full on. I think like 3 days ago, or something like that, I was in Cincinnati, and now I'm here in the south of Florida. But I've flown probably too much really. I'm pretty tired, so I took a rest day today, and I wanted to use this opportunity to get a vlog out. So what you're about to see now is some footage from a mix of footage from the flights from Cincinnati down to Louisiana and Louisiana down to Florida. The Mississippi was incredible flying over that, and just the landscape is just constantly changing and is amazing. So enjoy, and we'll chat soon. The flying was amazing. You'll notice sometimes I fly quite low, but I never ever fly low over built up areas. So it was just like, if you have never flown in America, you want to come over here and do some flying. It's probably the best place you could ever fly. I'm very impressed. It's just so well set up for general aviation flying. So you're about to watch an approach and landing into Pompano Beach now. It's pretty close to Fort Lauderdale, just down the road. So this is where I opted to come in. It's a great little place run by really friendly people, and I was invited out for lunch with an Italian family, lovely family, and that was incredible. So if you're watching, thank you. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. It was amazing. So enjoy this, guys, and I'll give you a bit of an update on a few things in a second. So enjoy. guys, there you go. Literally just in the last few minutes of kind of sitting here and editing some bits together, typical South Florida fashion, the thunder and lightning has rolled in. You could literally, it's as regular as clockwork in the afternoon out here, but the pattern seems to be very flyable and very good weather in the mornings and possibly in the evenings, but you wouldn't want to fly a gyro around here in the summer in the afternoons, because you probably just wouldn't be able to. It's just too much stuff around. So yeah, I was quite lucky to get in here yesterday actually. I managed to scoot around it, and I think if I had left just an hour later, that would have scuppered me, but luckily I was all good. So from here, this is my most southerly point on the trip, so I now head north tomorrow, and I am on my way home now. So this is it, we are now homeward bound, and if everything goes well, I'm expecting perhaps around 6 weeks, something like that. It all depends on the weather. If I get good weather, I can fly 500 miles in a day, and that's a long way for a gyro. So, you know, in a couple of days you'll be up in New York. But I have to tick off all my states, because remember, one of my goals is to land and take off in every state in America, mainland. Obviously I can't do Hawaii. So that's the plan. I've got the gyro being serviced up in Nantucket, which is just next to Boston. It's not far. A friend of mine, Andy's flying out, and this is going to be the last service the aircraft has before I fly it back across the Atlantic. So we'll give it a real thorough check over, but it's been incredible so far. So it's one thing I don't have to worry about. I mean, of course I check it all over, but I get in that aircraft and I don't need to worry. Really, I cannot tell you how impressed I have been with my Magni M16, and just Magni themselves. They've looked after me big time. So also up in Nantucket as well, I've got some cool speaking stuff lined up. Thank you, Betsy, if you're watching this, for organising it. I really appreciate that. I'm speaking to some girl guides or scouts, I think, and then there's some other young people that I'm speaking to, and that's really good for me, because I wanted to do some more of that in the US, but because it's the summer holidays, the schools everyone's on holiday, so I wasn't able to really do a great deal in this country. And one of the main objectives for flying around the world is to speak in a school in every country and use the project to try and inspire young people to pursue their own goals and dreams. So the fact that I'm able to do that up in Nantucket is going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that. It's very difficult lining things up, because what I'm doing is difficult to plan. I can't, it's not like flying an airliner where I can say I'll be there at that time. It just doesn't work like that, and that has been a little bit of a challenge with trying to organise some things. Also, I wanted to say, a lot of people have reached out to me recently, and it's quite overwhelming, and it's amazing, you know, offering support. If I fly there or here, they'd like to offer a hangar and free fuel and things, and so I feel a bit bad that I can't just come and land and say hello, but so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's reached out to me. That's really greatly appreciated. I've also had a lot of amazing support on the ground as well. The Andrews family in Louisiana looked after me big time, and it's difficult if I start naming people, I'm inevitably going to forget someone, but a lot of people have been really good to me, and I'm really, really grateful for that. There's so many things I want to say that I've actually had to write a list down. Here we go. Yes, probably one of the most important things. I've noticed that there's quite a lot of people following the trip now, which again is amazing. And one of the objectives is to inspire young people, but one of the main objectives is also to try and raise some money for two great charities that are back in the UK. So all the details are on the website, jamesketchell.net, but very briefly, they're two wonderful charities. Kindled Spirit, the aircraft's named Kindled Spirit actually, help young girls that are trafficked in India, and the work they do is amazing. I've been to the centres, and I promised to help them, and here I am flying around the world. And the other charity is an amazing organisation called Over the Wall, and they look after, and well, they run camps for children that are terminally ill, and I like what they do and I like what they're about, and they've supported me and been good to me. So if you wanted to make a donation, it would be really, really greatly appreciated. It can literally be anything. Please don't hold off making a donation because you want to make a bigger one a bit further down the line. Just if you want to do one, that would be great. I don't want to push it too much because you don't have to donate if you don't want to, but if you wanted to, you know, just a few pounds, few dollars, whatever, is better than not. So, but thank you. So I just wanted to point that out. I noticed we haven't really had many donations come through, and it's taken a lot of effort to fly around the world, and it would be really amazing to see if we can get the donations up a little bit, but that's all I'll say on that. And yeah, hoping to be back in about 6 weeks. I don't want to wish it away though. It's very surreal out here, and day in, day out, I don't think I'm going to be able to sit down and really think how crazy and epic this really is until I get home, and then I don't have to get up and fly anymore. But day in, day out, you're moving, it's changing every day, and a lot of people ask me what it's like, and actually the reality is it's quite tiring, it's quite exhausting, it's quite stressful. You can never truly relax. You're constantly thinking about what's next, what's the weather doing, am I on schedule. There's a lot going on, and whilst you sit there, the flying is quite physical as well. You're kind of running on adrenaline when you fly, especially when there's uncertainty around the weather. You're not sure if you're going to get there. It's a new airport. You don't know what it's going to be like. You're monitoring weather and thinking, can I get there? Can I not? Where am I going to go? It's actually not. That is very, very, very different from just buzzing around your local airfield at home. That I can tell you. I'm doing it, and I'm here, and if anyone is watching this and wondering who this lunatic is just rambling into the camera, I never thought in a million years, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I'd be flying around the world. And I was a kid who had no confidence, no real ambition, no drive, left school with no qualifications whatsoever. That's not good, by the way. And here I am. I've almost finished a flight around the world. If I can do it, then hopefully there's some other young people following me, watching this, that they realise that they too can do whatever it is that you want to do. The only thing between something that you want to do and where you currently are is just a little bit of work, and that's it. And it's been quite hard work making this happen, and there's a lot of sponsors that have helped me and people that have believed in me, and you have the pressure of that on your shoulders a little bit, but you're never going to be able to do it. If everything was easy, it wouldn't really mean anything. This would have been, loads of people would have flown around the world in gyros and done all this kind of stuff before if it was easy. And anything worth doing is generally not easy. So sometimes I have to remind myself of that. But that's enough rambling for one day. I just wanted to give you a bit of an update. I'm now turning north to head home. 5-6 weeks, could be back. The route is up to sort of, actually up the East Coast. I've got to get to New York and Boston. Then I'm going back on myself ever so slightly. I'm going to Toronto, and then I'm working my way up north into Canada, across to Greenland, Iceland, the Faroe Islands, Scotland, and back down to Popham, where I started. And when I say it like that, it sounds quite easy, but yeah, in reality, it's probably not going to be. So we've got a little bit of this is like the last hurdle to jump over, and then we'll be back. So I'm just enjoying the flying here at the moment, and I will just do my best to get back. But this is just a one day at a time. You can't really look past one, because things change all the time doing this. It's good, and thank you ever so much for the support, guys. And let's wrap today's vlog up, because I'm rambling too much. But if you've got any questions, and the link to make a donation will be in the description. I will make sure it works, but it's also on my website as well. Any questions, just drop me a line, and thanks to everyone for the incredible support. And we're doing it one day at a time. We're doing it, guys. Out for now.